Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujunnea Bland. And today we're talking about the NHRA and what was the Thunder Valley Nationals. And we're going to debut our power rankings going into this week's race in New Hampshire. But going back to the Thunder Valley Nationals, as always, it's a great facility, great track, and it never disappoints. You always enjoy the sounds and the sights and the sounds of those cars bouncing off the mountains and the big speeds. And yes, again, 3 track records fall. And what a race weekend we had. The track started to heat up on Saturday, got even more warm on Sunday, but yet these guys were still able to manage to go down the track very effectively. And that's a credit to the NHRA, and the preparation that they do at that facility is just remarkable. Now, when you look at the guys that were able to win, John Force gets his first win. You have Roger Brogdon comes out, gets his first win. Steve Torrance gets a win. It's just an all-around great day for racing. Now, when you look at my power rankings, we're going to start with top fuel. And we're keeping Sean Langdon at the top. Yes, I know Steve Torrance won the race, but Sean's been very, very consistent, even though he kind of fell short at Bristol this weekend. We're going to have Clay Milligan in the second spot. You know, that car's been super hot, very consistent. And you can see they're finally starting to get a handle on that car. It looks as if they can make a run and start to get that consistency that you need going into the countdown. So watch out for that car. Spencer Massey, you know all about that guy. And we're going to put Tony Schumacher right there at the bottom. Yes, he is the points leader, but he has been getting upended by other racers out there on the track and hasn't won as of late. But you got to give him that number 5 spot. He is the points leader. Now, when we look at Funny Car, I know my man Mike Dunn in his power rankings has the 15-time champ at number 1. I put Matt Hagan at number 1. Reason being, I understand that Mike Neff said that they put the car back to when he was driving it last year. And it shows. They finished 3rd overall last year. Mike Neff won several races. So the consistency we know is there. But we also know that John has struggled most of the season. And yes, he admitted that they were testing a lot of different things as the season has gone out. And coming into this race, they decided to go back to what he knows and what worked in that car when he drove it. Great deal. Now, I'm going to take a wait and see approach. I don't disagree with Mike Dunn at all. I mean, you got John Force. He was fired up this weekend, quoting the great Gatsby. He's going to turn back the hands of time. I believe he can do it. I believe he could have done it at the beginning of the year. I just think they're searching for other things, other combinations that can work to see what this car can do. But I'm going to wait and see another race. And we have a great race coming up in New Hampshire. Of course, I put Courtney at 3rd, Cruz 4th, Dell 5th. Now we look at Pro Stock. Pretty much hands down, we know Mike Edwards. Even though Roger won, Mike Edwards has been just straight dominant. I mean, he pretty much beat himself. And that was going into this race and in previous races. It seems that's the only way you could beat Mike Edwards is if Mike Edwards beats himself. And he did it this weekend. And we got Jed Coughlin, Erica Enders, you know, a great car, and probably could have been a little bit higher in my power rankings, but my concern, as Mike Dunn stated in his power rankings, is the sponsorship. And we really don't know if she's going to have a sponsor going into this race. I've been blasting it on Twitter, and I ask, please, Black Iguana, give her a long-term deal. I mean, the numbers speak for itself. Where she's ranked at in the points speaks for itself. If you go back this season, she's been hot all year long and is a winner. Why not? So let's keep Erica Enders out on the track, please. We're going to follow the 4th spot with Alan Johnson and finish it off with Roger Brogdon. I know Roger doesn't have any stats. He hasn't done much this season, but you got to give the guy that number 5 spot when he comes out in Bristol and lays down a really, really flawless performance all the way through, being very consistent and just doing what he had to do. Winning on the tree, staying right there, and doing what he has to do as a driver to get the win, and he got the win in Bristol. We follow up. The bikes were not there in Bristol, but our power rankings for bikes, we're going to go with Michael Ray, Hector Jr., Hector Sr. is in 4th, and following that up with Matt Smith, the number 5 spot. So those are our power rankings. Pretty close to what Mike Dunn has there, but a few changes here and there. Now we go into Epping, New Hampshire, and it's a great facility, it looks like. Seeing some aerial shots of it. Temperatures are going to be pretty good, 80 degrees. So it's just a matter of translating the hot conditions and the hot track that they faced in Bristol and kind of coming up with a combination that we know at 80 degrees and the sun's going to be out, we're going to have a hot track. So whoever is the most consistent, obviously, is going to be able to win. I'm very, very, very interested to see, though, how that Force car, John Force car, does this weekend in New Hampshire. See if he can get the ball rolling, start to get some consistency, and maybe even make a run for a championship. So all in all, great weekend at Bristol, and we'll be back next week with our power rankings after Epping, New Hampshire. Well, we thank you for watching our show. Again, if you have any comments or anything you'd like to hear discussed on this show, shoot us an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com. As always, comment on the bottom of our show. We'll keep the dialogue going with you. And as always, subscribe to the show. That's how you stay locked in. That's how you know when new stuff comes out. Again, you've been watching Straight Shooting Sports Talk.